Hello, Internet. It is Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we are going to be talking about the Many Saints of Newark. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. The full title of this is The Many Saints of Newark: A Sopranos Story. I think that should tell you all you need to know about where this movie came from. It's part of the Sopranos universe. And as you know, the Sopranos, an HBO original, definitely one of their most popular and like highly rated shows they've ever made. I think the only show that could be comparable to it in terms of popularity would be Game of Thrones, I guess. Which is funny because both Game of Thrones and The Sopranos are known for having extremely unsatisfying endings. Granted, although to be fair, Game of Thrones was more extreme in the unsatisfying department, but still, the finales didn't leave too many people satisfied. Even without that, Sopranos is still a very popular show, very highly rated, highly regarded show. It's easy to imagine a decent amount of fans of that show would watch a prequel movie that goes over much younger Tony Soprano, right? You get to learn more about the lore, about the characters, how he started, right? So there is something to gain from watching this movie if you are a Sopranos fan. So yeah, you know, yeah, I guess it would be a pro. Sopranos, popular show, huge fan base. It's a decent. There's a chance that decent amount of that fan base will watch the movie. So yeah, that's a pro right there. Another pro, advertising has been just frequent for like the past few weeks. But this is Warner Brothers. They're notorious for like pushing their movies onto with ads, just bombarding the public with ads on YouTube especially. So obviously if you've been on YouTube like you are right now, you've probably seen an ad for this movie. So yeah, that's easy marketing right there. So I would consider that a pro. The advertising's been frequent. So yeah, that's another pro. Third pro, reviews, they're good, but they're not great. But they're still good enough to not kill the movie entirely. Like they're not the type where it's just toxic and the whole thing is just a hat, a toxic hazard. Like if you say like let's just say there was like a big movie, they say a random example. Cats, right? When those reviews for Cats came out, nobody was gonna watch the movie. Like like that whole movie was a shit show from start to finish. From the very first trailer, it was just a nightmare. Granted, this movie didn't have to deal with such a thing, but yeah, sometimes those early reviews can sway the public's opinion on whether they want to watch the movie or not. And in this case, I don't think it's going to sway them to not watch the movie. I think it'll be good enough. So yeah, good reviews I would consider a pro. Okay, it's cons. It's a Warner Brothers movie, so you know what that means. HBO Max. Oh yeah. HBO Max. God. Oh my god. Do I even need to say it anymore? I mean, the win to loss ratio with these HBO Max movies is just abysmal, man. I mean, there hasn't been a single successful HBO Max movie since Conjuring 3, and that was all the way back in June. Ever since then, In the Heights, bomb. Space Jam 2, bomb. Suicide Squad, bomb. Reminiscence, huge bomb. Malignant, bomb, and Cry Macho, bomb. It's been just train wreck after train wreck after train wreck. Yeah, so that's that's definitely not a good sign for this movie. Just from the ratio alone when it comes to wins and losses with HBO Max movies. So yeah, that's a definite con right there. That HBO Max release is gonna hurt this movie financially. It's gonna cost it a few dollars. So yeah, that's a con. Another con is that these TV adaptation movies. We've seen plenty of these throughout the years. Many of them in the animated department. Funny enough, Rugrats got a movie, Doug got a movie, Recess got a movie, Hey Arnold, um, wow, Thornberries. It's a whole lot actually. Yeah, with these movies, the problem is that you know, do these movies really deserve to be called movies? Like, are they real movies, or are they just more a bigger budget version of the show, or it's just like a very expensive 2 hour extended episode, right? Like, does it justify being a standalone movie? And that's the problem this movie's gonna have to face. Like, so from what I've heard, people are just like, oh, it's just like it just feels like the show, just bigger budget and 2 hours long, which is not exactly a ringing endorsement, especially since, on HBO Max, you can watch the original show, right? And then you got this, and it's probably going to convince more people to watch on HBO Max because, this movie doesn't, well, to some people, it doesn't feel like ultra theatrical. It just feels like an extension of the show. And I think that will really kill this movie, unfortunately. So, yeah, I would consider a con, the whole TV adaptation thing. You know, it's not a successful genre, super successful, because, again, is it really a movie, or is it just like an extended episode of the show, right? So, yeah, that's another con. Third con with this movie, well, obviously, there's a big movie coming out this weekend, Venom: Let There Be Carnage. That's getting all the attention. And then next weekend, guess what comes out? No Time to Die. So that's gonna get a lot of attention. Obviously, it's already getting attention now if it's early overseas release. And then there's Dune later in the month, which had an early overseas release. Got a lot of talk about that. And even though that's also an HBO Max movie, at least that one has more of a chance to succeed than this, relatively speaking. So, yeah, when it comes to like competition, it's not looking good for this movie. It's just not. So, yeah, yeah, the competition's pretty steep. So, I would consider that a con. And then fourth con, this is a prequel. I know a lot of people out there aren't particularly fond of prequels. Many view them as unnecessary, useless. You know, People would rather see the story move forwards rather than backwards. Like, I get that. I really do. I mean, let's look at prequels, just examples of prequels. Black Widow was technically a prequel, and well, it didn't do too great, but I don't know if that's comparable to this. Solo, a Star Wars story. They both have a blank story that did terrible, but still, I don't know if that's a great comparison. Yeah, there's Solo, there's Rogue One, Fantastic Beasts, those movies, Husband, Winter's War, Sidious Chapter 3, The Hobbit trilogy, Minions. Just scrolling through this. Prometheus, Puss in Boots, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. That was a good one. X-Men First Class. That was a really good one too. Yeah, when it comes to prequels, it can be kind of iffy. People kind of just like, does this movie justify its existence? Because again, prequels can be a turnoff for some people. So I would consider that a bit of a con too. So now, yeah, I think that's it. So opening weekend, predicting HBO Max movies has been an absolute pain, and this will be no different. So, opening weekend, it could reach 10. I'm not gonna bet a whole lot of money on it, but it could reach 10. But to be safe, I'm going to say it's going to be somewhere in the realm of $5 to $10 million, somewhere in that range. That's the range I've been using a lot recently, and you know what? It's worked for the most part because that's where a lot of these movies, they end up making. That's what *Malignant* did. *Cry Macho* was a bit behind that, and *Dear Evan Hansen* was right in the middle. So I think this will do about the same, which is not good because none of those other movies did very well. So yeah, 5 to 10 million domestic. Then I'll probably reach, I don't know, 15 to 20 million total, knowing how HBO Max movies, knowing their legs function, or maybe a little more than that. I don't know, but yeah. So that's Many Saints of Newark, and now the grand finale of this weekend, Venom 2, Venom Let There Be Carnage. Can't wait to talk about that one. And then I'll be it for the weekend. And then next week, No Time to Die. And then Halloween Kills, Last Duel, Dune, Ron's Gone Wrong, and a bunch of movies at the end of the month. So, yeah, stay tuned for all those movies. So, yeah, anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got a playlist on the homepage of all previous, movies I've done this year, especially the HBO Max ones. Those are real interesting. If you really want to see me fail spectacularly at predictions, watch my HBO Max prediction videos. You will not be disappointed. Oh god, but yeah, if you want to watch any of those, you can go right ahead. There is also the canceled series where I talk about all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I think I've talked about Many States of Newark like twice, maybe three times. I don't know. Because this was supposed to come out like way like in March, and then it got pushed to the fall, and then it got shuffled around the fall a little bit, and now it's coming out this weekend. So yeah. But if you want to watch any of the past canceled episodes I made, there's now 82 episodes. If you want to watch any of those, you can go right ahead. There's also box office recaps where I predict box office results for movies for any particular month. No, yeah, I just look over box office results for movies any particular month. The September recap will come out first week of October after the first weekend is over. And then October recap will come out first week of November, and then so on and so forth. So if you want to watch, if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I've made, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.